Hello, everyone. Hello, good morning. Boy, I gotta tell ya, it's early after the new year. This is Connie, and I am live, and I am once again starting out getting my getting my comments going. Okay, so today, you know what? I was like, oh, I'm just going to take it easy. I'm not going to do anything too complicated. I'm just going to make a simple card or something. Because I'm still kind of tired from the weekend. Is anybody else feeling that? It's not even the weekend. From the new year. Anyway, so today, though, I wanted to play with this on display set. It is kind of cool. It is Stamps and Dies. The stamps are lots of little messages. Some of them are a little bit punny, but not punny enough for me. There is a treat yourself, which is kind of neat. I love the birthday for the books, and you deserve all the good stuff. That's kind of neat. You've Been on My Mind is perfect for this kind of card because, you know, I'd probably just use a hello or a thinking of you as my message with this, right? So the dies are, there's a lot of dies. The shelf itself, it's like a hutch, right? And then it's got a top. It's got handles, which at first intrigued me. I was like, what the heck do you do with the handles? They're so big. And they're almost too big to make like cupboard doors, but these two are small. Anyway, not sure. And then all the other little dies, I don't know why I have this one separated, but all the other little dies are for things on the shelf. And so today I thought it might be kind of fun to make some stuff using this. So I pre-cut, yes, I pre-cut. I did this a while back because I had hoped to show this, before Christmas. But you know what? I was in holiday mode and I was thinking, oh, the shelf, you could totally make this holiday mode and put, little stockings hanging from the shelves and little Christmassy tiny things. We all have those little bitty stamps that would work for Christmas to put in the shelves and make this like a bakery hutch or a, something Christmassy. But, did not get around to that before Christmas. So I cut all these little pieces and I thought I want to make a basic hutch to start with. And then I want to do a little twist on it. And then I want to make a little shelf. So I have like 3 cards. And then I have a whole bunch. And I'm just going to give you a little sample. I have a whole bunch of different stamp sets that I have used to make a variety of cards. And I can't wait to show you all of the finished cards I've made. So let's get started on this. I'm just going to set these to the side for now. And I'm going to put this out here so you can see it. And then, okay, so the first thing is you need a hutch. Now, I cut all these different colors. I wasn't really sure what I was going to make today, and I decided a basic brown is the way to go, right? This basic brown. The problem, of course, I want some contrast, and I was kind of playing around with whether I don't really love the lighter color. So I want to go with the darker color, and then I also thought I kind of like the idea of having a back on the hutch, but it needs to look it just sort of all blends together. That is not like your typical bookshelf, right? So let me grab some ink. I don't know what color to grab. Let's see. Okay, I know. I'm just gonna try pecan pie because that's the color of this bookshelf, and I thought maybe tone on tone would work, and I'm just gonna use my blending brush, and I'm gonna blend in some of this background because I think I can create shadows. You know, like in the bookshelf, how it's kind of dark in the deeper part of the bookshelf, right? And I don't know. We'll see how that looks. It may or may not look good. I don't always wing my my videos, but today I'm just tired enough that I was like, I'm not gonna create something ahead. I had all this other stuff I wanted to show you anyway, and I thought I probably should make a basic bookshelf. Oh, that's kind of nice, right? Because you can see the contrast, and I think I need a little bit more around the edges. At least these edges. Okay. I think that'll work. Let me put this way. Now, I normally work on my glass mat, and today I didn't change over. So I want to get that ink cleaned off of here. This is just like a sewing mat. And I don't usually work on this unless I'm scrapbooking and I need a flat surface. I love that glass mat, man. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, get out my glue, make sure it's working good. I do want to, I could create dimension by putting a little bit of foam tape around the outside, but I won't. This one I'm just gonna make flat. Now this, I just barely cut it the right size. Maybe I should do this onto a panel or a card base. Hold on a minute. Let's do this onto a panel, and that way if I get glue all over the place, it won't be on my mat. Not that it won't come off, but it's just a pain. Now, it's awful stark. Do I need to put a little something around it? Probably. How about a really soft blue? Let me grab my really soft blue. And then we can go from there. I don't need it everywhere, and I don't need it dark. I just want a little color around that hutch, so that I could have used a colored panel, although that doesn't give it very much dimension when you use colored panels, because they're kind of they're just flat, and sometimes ink really makes a difference. So all right, I like that because it makes it look like it's against a wall or something, and we have some shadows behind it now. Okay, put that away. And once again, clean the ink off, because I just use water. If I have it, sometimes stamp cleaner to clean my ink off of there. Okay, now we can play. All right, now I want this hutch is big. It takes the full card, and when you put it on there with the top, you can put the top this direction, or you can flip it around like this and make it fancy at the top. You see that? Your choice, because I think this is the way that they show it on in a lot of the samples. And that's fine, but I want to put a cat up there on a shelf. And so I kind of think I'm going to turn this around just to have a little more space, which means this has got to go like way to the bottom, way to the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on, and I'm going to make a little bit of room for the feet, but this is going to be at the bottom of my panel. And then I'm going to just hold this here and put glue around the edges. See how straight I can be this time of day. I know it sounds crazy, but I stayed up really late last night. Steve and I were like, what did we watch? Gosh, we were watching some series that was so weird, and we were really getting into it. It was so strange, and I can't remember the name of it. But it's about a guy who was a writer, and he was in a rut, and he was having trouble writing his next book, and so he was kind of struggling. It's comedy of sorts, and he decided to be a private detective, to try to be a private detective, and he was trying to solve cases. I don't know, it was just funny. It was funny. All right, I'm going to use a little piece of foam tape. I have this scrap of foam tape, and I'm just going to put this across here because I feel like I might want a little dimension on this piece. Okay, which way do I want to put it? Decision time. I think I am going to put it this way. Boom, it's done. Decision made. Too late now. Can't go back. Okay, now we can fill our shelves. Now this is the fun part, because look how many shelves there are, and you can do whatever you want. And one of the things that totally drew me to this set were the little cats, you guys. They're so adorable. And I think, so I made the cats. What's really cool in the stamp set, you can stamp the stripes and then stamp the cat. Now, I tried stamping the cat and then putting the stripes onto the cat, and I missed every time. It is so hard to line that up. But if you do the stripes first and then you do the cat, it's like, oh, that's so easy. It's like, do the detail first. Okay. There's also birds in a cage. So cute. I didn't cut any of those. There is a globe, and I did not cut a globe. I really liked all of the different little bottles and things, and the different planters and plants. And I don't know, I have the lawn fawn mice, and I thought that would be cute on here. I have the little, I have the honeybee hutch curio cabinet, which is kind of similar. And I thought, well, that would be really cute on here too. I could mix and match all the pieces and parts. And even though as a Stampin' Up person, right now I can't show you all the little hutch parts that I have from the other company, in the future, guess what I'm going to use? I'm going to use all the pieces and parts. Okay, and then I think I need a big sized plant in some of these. And so I wanted to stick with a color scheme, and you can kind of see I've got the golden yellows, the terracottas, and the dark blues. And so I'm just going to I'm going to place a few things on some of these and just see if I like how they look. I'm going to put this one. Now see, you can see there's how the plant cuts out, and it has a little thing at the bottom. And I believe it's supposed to be those little pieces as the planter. You know, like you would just put that little piece on there and you would have a little plant. Cute, right? But I decided I kind of like this one. I'm gonna do my own thing. And I thought I stamped these in 2 different colors, but I didn't. I want to kind of make this plant a little more, and so I may mess with that a little bit. This one is like, I remember I have one of these, and I call it a mother-in-law tongue. That's how, when I grew up, that's what everybody called those. I don't know what the real name for it is, but let's see. Maybe I'll put that one in yellow. All right, my fingernails aren't working. Yeah, I could put it in a yellow container. It needs a little decoration. I don't know about the yellow. How about a light brown? Is that too matchy? Matchy. What's everybody else doing? I feel like because Steve is off work, we are into the weekend. We are, you know, well into, I don't know. It feels like a weekend. Okay, and then there's a couple of different options for books. We have this stack of books that cuts out all together, and I wanted to mix and match my colors, and I could put it all on a shelf, right? Just like that. Or you could do what I did just to make things complicated. Let me see if I have my little pickup tool. I stamped the books, these books, in all different colors, and I cut them apart because I thought, well, I could just make a bunch of books different colors. And then there's also a stack of books that I did in different colors, and I thought it would be, my books are not all the same color, so it's weird to me to see, you know, these books that are, you know, all different color. So I thought it might be kind of nice to have something like this, and I can use my scissors if I can find them. Hold on. And I can create. So let me start gluing here. I just want this, you know, simple. I don't want to like stretch this out forever because I still have a really fun card I want to show you. Let me see if I can. That is a little deep. There, I like that. Okay. And then so the picture frames are interesting because when you cut the picture frames, it cuts out the centers too. And then you got to decide, what do I want in the center? I need a center. And so I'm not sure what I'm going to put in the picture frame yet. But it is kind of an interesting idea to play with that. I'll show you on another card what I did. So here's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to cut off this bigger leaf. I'm going to make another small leaf. Let's see what I can do here. Make this work. So I've got that. I'm going to make another small one here. See how it's kind of hidden, but it makes it bigger. And then I think I am going to use this bigger one. No, that works. I'm gonna just use this pot. Okay, let's build our books. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my books here like this. And I like the idea of having different colors. So I want, I'm gonna cut this apart. Is this too fussy? This is probably a little fussy, but it's also kind of relaxing at the same time. It's like, it's just a little project. And if you're not in a hurry, you can make this whatever you want, right? I'm going to cut this one too. Good morning, Denise. Are you still scrapbooking? I have a whole stack of things I need to glue together from the virtual cropping event. Oh, see, I like the different colors of books. It's nice. Now, I also want to build a little bookshelf. I also want to build a little bookshelf using these books. That'll give me the variety of color that I want. So, brace yourself. It'll take me a moment. Let me see here. Anyway, I started, you know how Stampin' Up has the Stampin' Up has the product of the month, and the new product of the month will be on January 6th, which is great, but in the meantime, you can still get the little blue set of paper, and I hadn't really played with it, and so I went ahead and grabbed my that paper pack, and I did a bunch of the sketches from the virtual crop event, and I think it's gonna be great. I'm just gonna lay those on their side. You can see how they're supposed to be. So on another shelf, I'll show you kind of real quick how I make this faster. This is fussy. I decided this one is going to be my fussy one. I don't care. It's just going to be fussy. All right. And then I have a little book, and I think I'm going to put a tall book here. All right. Let's see if I can just pick these up. That one's gray. I like the orange. Put that there. I'm gonna just wipe that extra glue off. And I'll put a tall book there. I need one more book. What color? Gray, I think. There. So I have this really cool, I built my own bookshelf that's kind of long, and it looks kind of neat on there, I think. What to go in there? I don't know. How about another plant? Is that too weird? Too many plants? I don't know. Oh, how about some bottles? The bottles are nice. And that adds another. I like this one because it kind of looks like a decanter. You know, I think of it as like whiskey or bourbon or something. I like that. But there's also all these other bottles, and you could do things with them to make them. There's two, a big and a small. So let me see what I got here. I can put one behind and one in the front, like the shelf is deep, right? I could even put a little tiny foam around that, but I don't think I need it. Okay, so this crazy It's a crazy picture frame. Time to decide what I want to do. Darn it. Now see, okay, so I have this picture frame and it has, I'm gonna go ahead and put a center in it. I wouldn't normally, but I think I want to add a little face or something inside. So I am gonna do something with that. A little heart. On one of them, I stamped a heart. But for now, I'm just gonna do this and we're gonna call that done, because I don't want to be here all day. And then here's this picture frame. And the truth is, I need to put my message somewhere. And so I think that bottom square is going to get covered up with a message. But anyway, you get the idea of how this is supposed to go together, right? I mean, it's basically a little shelf. There's little plants. There's little things that you can play with to go on the shelf. I really like this one too. Right? Oh, I could use the yellow. And then I have more of a balance of yellow. Hold on a minute. I'm going to pull up this picture frame for a second. Messy, messy. And I'm going to put a plant in the background. Like that. And then I'll put the picture frame in the foreground. That way it's still on the shelf, but at least there's something behind it. And I'm gonna put that little oval in there because I'm gonna put something in that picture frame later. Okay, I really like that. There's my basic hutch, and I could put I could put any of these messages. The messages are not crazy big, which is nice. There's that just for you. It fits perfectly inside that square. But I like hello. I like just putting hello. A simple message. You're the best. That would go in there. You could stamp it in white or on white and just put it across the bottom. I like how the basic bookshelf looks, right? So I've got the start of a card there. I'm going to put that aside, and I want to show you another idea. So the handles intrigued me, and so I cut some handles in gold. And then I was like, okay, so instead of thinking this as a giant hutch, right, cut the legs off. I put some foam on the back, and I made these little wood edges. And I want to show you the way I did that because I think it makes it look more like a display case. And basically, I put some paper through my embossing folder so it has this wood tone. And I kind of measured how long this is, and it's just under like 5 inches. So I basically cut this to like 5 1/8, and then I just cut 1/2 inch strips on it. So if you kind of go in and you cut like 2 long ones, and then you do this one and you cut 2 short ones. I'm just gonna wing this here. Let's see. It's easier with my other trimmer because, let me just trim this more even. Hold on a minute. And then I'm gonna do There's two. And then I'm going to cut this even so it'll be easier. And then 1, 2, I think I cut 3. I didn't cut them a full 1/2 inch. I think I cut them 3/8, which is confusing to a lot of people, but it's basically 3 tiny eyelashes. So you would do 1, 2, 3 cut. So just under 1/2 inch. I think that's what I did on the original one. But the basic idea of it is that you put the 2 long strips on like that. That one I cut big. Why did I do that? And then these, you cut like a 45-degree angle, a 45-degree angle. And then when you lay these down onto here, it makes a box when you cut them the right, when you cut them the right size, it makes your angle. So you're not cutting an angle on this one and on this one and trying to match them up. That's too much work. Just cut the top and the bottom at an angle, and then you don't have to worry about what angle it is. You can just random cut it and piece it together. So that is what I did here. So I put on the 2 straight pieces and I angle cut there. And then to make it a window, I actually got some window film out, or some acetate out. Now this is this acetate has a film that you remove. It's like a protective film. And I just thought it would be, kind of fun to make it look like it's under glass. And so I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue around the edge, not a lot. You don't want a whole bunch of glue on your window because it smears it and looks bad. So I'm just gonna put this in here and lay it in, push that down. All right. Now, see, I have dust on my window, but I have a window glass and it looks like I can put something under glass, right? How weird is that? And so I need a background so my stuff will show up. And so if I do this, can you see I'm going to make like it would be like a case that opens. You could use anything you want, but I just grabbed this sheet of paper. This sheet of paper is from that product of the month. I just cut a real quick piece from that. I just think that's really cool looking. But now I got to put stuff in the case before I attach it together, right? And so I have a few things here. I'm trying to remember why I had this out. I have a reason. See, I did these so far ahead. I love the wishing you a beautiful birthday. And there's a couple of things about this that really you can put your message on the outside, which is what I'm going to have to do. But some of these little compartments are kind of small, and you can use your scissors and you can kind of trim them out so that you're not dealing with such small areas. I should have done this before I did the window plastic, right? But you get the idea. There. Oh, come off of there. So I am just going to see, I could put that on the inside, and now I have a really nice spot for my message. And I'm just gonna trim that. I should have got more sleep before I was gonna accomplish something at this, but I think I could make that even a smidge smaller. All right. Yeah, it's a little fussy. I know it. It's okay. You don't have to do it. I'm gonna put this here and this here, and I'm just gonna put a couple of dots, and I'm gonna put this in place. And then I have my message. Now, what else do I want to put under glass? Well, I was like, what goes under glass? Butterflies and bugs and jewelry. And so I was trying to think of ideas for putting under glass. And I thought the butterflies would be super cute. Like, if you really have a cool die for butterflies, you could totally do this where they're under glass. The other thing that I did was I cut out some of those washi tape flowers, because those are kind of fun under there. And the bigger ones you could put on the outside. Let me just put this in here. I want to put my butterfly under here. I have this butterfly. I gotta make sure it's in the glass here. Isn't that cute? Look at this, it's coming together. And I feel like I need flowers in there, but it needs some greenery. So I'll put this in here. And it goes pretty close to the edge. Now I have a few separate loose flowers, and I think I might put one there. And I just keep holding my window over there because I want to make sure that I have everything in the right place where it'll show. And I don't really, I mean, you could totally, who cares really, but I don't really want it to pop out of another window, and those are pretty narrow panes, right? Hi, Christy. Are you back to work today? My husband is off today, and he was like, just don't do the live today. He's like, let's just take that day off. And I'm like, oh, but I got all this stuff ready. I got it ready. So I told him I wouldn't be too long. Lied. I like this one. This little one is cute. Look at that. Now, one of the things about things under glass, if you've ever looked at like the butterflies under glass and stuff, they are a little dimensional because they're real, which is kind of gross. You know, they have a pin in them or something, but it's okay if these are a little bit dimensional, right? It'll look more normal, like it's supposed to. I was trying to think of what I had what else would go under glass, like in a case like this. And so I have some other ideas for you that I'm going to show you. All right. Look at that. Isn't that sweet? Now, because my birthday message is so plain, I feel like it needs a little something, y'all. Just a little something. And so I'm going to put a little bit of glue on there, and I'm going to put my greenery there. It'll take a minute to dry because it's window plastic, and window plastic hates glue. The best glue is probably tear tape for this. Foam tape works. And then because my card is larger than this, you know, you remember how we have the edge like around the hutch or whatever, I can have this go off the edge just a little, because it won't be bigger than the card. I have a card base around here somewhere, but I'm just showing you some ideas of things that you could do that I think are really sweet. I like that too. All right. Again, window plastic hates liquid glue. I don't even know why I'm using it, but here I am. All right. So there is my birthday card, and I just need to put it on some kind of card base. I don't have any good card bases ready other than white, but I'd probably put this on something peach or pink so that the blue pops out. Hi, Annette. Yes. Oh yeah, the new products. Ew. The new products are coming out, and it's terrifying, right? There's so much. There's so much. All right, my last card that I want to make before I show you my blitz of cards. I just really love this, you guys. Look how beautiful that is. I used the retired butterflies. I'm glad I kept them. It was one of those ones where I almost got rid of them because I'm not a big butterfly fan, but I had actually used that butterfly set a lot. And so, oh yeah, see, here's my card bases. I have a bunch of card bases. I kept it. I'm really glad I did. And because I only have I have a handful of butterfly themes, but I purged a lot because I tend to grab the same ones over and over. And this Stampin' Up one is actually one that I do grab. See, look how sweet. And you could make it a little bit turned on your card so it looks more like it's a case. You know, it almost looks like you could open it. I should make one that you open. Oh, that'd be fun. A gift card inside. You open it and there's a gift card. Oh, I love that. That's fun. That's really neat. Like, you could make it look like you open it. It looks just like this, but when it opens, it actually lifts this, and then there's your gift card. Oh gosh, another project I have in my head. All right. So this one, I'm going to fold my card base. And I want to make a shelf. See, I even wrote myself a note. Make a shelf. Because I thought, you know what? That hutch you saw, it takes a bit of time. It's not quick and easy. And so I thought this one would be quick and easy. So I have these panels behind me that are all embossed. I need to do a whole bunch more so that I have them, you know. I've been using them like crazy, and I just think this is really cute. This is that bird paper. It's just a scrap that I have left over. I probably need to do a little stash buster to make a bunch of winter bird cards because I have just enough of that paper that I feel the need to store it. I don't want to store it. And so I need to get it out, crank through the rest of it, and get it done. All right. I love the idea of making a shelf, and I was looking at a shelf. Okay, so I could cut like the top off, and that would be my shelf. That would work. It has, what's cool about that is it has the wood grain already impressed in it, so that's something. I could use one of my little embossed pieces that I made, but that wood grain is really large. And then I thought, well, why not use this as my shelf? And you could make it like, you know, a country shelf has that back on it, and then you could, you know, like tuck things on this ledge. Or you could flip it over and do the same kind of thing and make this the back of the shelf. right? I like that idea. So here we are. I am going to start by only adhering this part. I don't know if I need to be this concerned. Maybe I'll put a little dot of glue here and here. Just so it will hold down. And I want my shelf kind of low because I'm going to put stuff on it. And back again with the fussiness. But I think I want a plant here. One of the plants is this funky one like this. And to me, that looks like seaweed from like with the ocean set or something. So I could do that plant. The other plant that I really liked is this one. And I cut it in 2 shades, like the back and the front shade, to make it more full. Okay, I think that's the winner. I'm gonna go with it. So I'm gonna glue this and this. And I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna put this here. And then I just need to decide what pot to use. I could use this large one. Yeah, that looks good. Let's do it. When I cut these pieces, what I found, and I kind of did a little bit of research on this one. I went on to YouTube and tried to see what people are doing with this set. And what I found is that everybody's kind of doing something a little bit different. And the problem is that it's a pain to cut all this stuff out. So when you do that, it's easier to stick with 2 or 3 color, like stick with a color scheme, because it really does make a difference. It helps to not have so many options. And so here I am playing around. I decided I cut the die cuts this image out. So it's a stamped image, and the die cut cuts the whole thing out. So what I did is I cut out the whole thing, right? But then I decided I wanted my books all different colors, and I didn't want to stamp them and try to get that straight or whatever. And so here I am futzing around with this. But what happens is I end up with a real stack of books, a stack of books that doesn't look fake. Well, yes, it does, but you get what I mean. All right, I'm going to put this here. Oh, I like it. And it looks a little dimensional. It has like, you know, they're different colors, and I'm going to put this on the shelf. I'm covering up the back of my shelf, but you can see that there is a back of the shelf. And the last thing, I can't make anything without this cat. This cat is so adorable. Now, I did try putting a little pink nose on it, and all my pinks are way too bright. I think I need like the softest whisper of a coral or something. I don't know. Anyway, it's so cute. Okay, there is my, I like this leaf loose, but it's gonna get torn off. I gotta glue it down. All right. That is adorable. And, you know, you deserve all the good stuff. You've been On my mind. Oh, I like that. You've been on my mind. It fits like, it's just perfect. It would be like perfect little message right there. Treat yourself. And then put a little something on the inside. It's a birthday for the books. I don't know. But this is super sweet, you guys. I really love how this looks. I love it. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you all my others. So, love this homemade treats. I love it so much. And check this out. Isn't that sweet? So I just used it like a frame. I cut the feet off of the hutch, the cabinet, and then I used some of the greenery from Christmas, some of the little gumdrops, from like the Gingerbread Man. I used these little guys here. I thought about getting out my coffee set again, but I honestly don't know if it's available. And I think you guys know there's a lot of little bitty things in the coffee set. I made some little cookies. This is from the Gingerbread Man set, this cup, and I put a little glitter on the whipped cream. And then, of course, the baking set cookies. I think this is the sweetest card. Oh my gosh. Now back, I thought it would show more, but it doesn't. Back behind here is the flower. There's a die right here from the advent calendar that I thought, oh, I need a poinsettia on there or something, but yeah. Okay. And you can see there's the gumdrops, and I even considered, how crazy is this? I even considered cutting a whole bunch of these and like putting some around the edges. And I was like, what am I doing? Okay, here's my next one. Here I made it like the under glass thing, only I didn't use the glass on this one. I didn't use the acetate, and I used Snowflake Kisses. Now, Snowflake Kisses is a set I didn't get a chance to show yet. It's fairly new. Love the messages in it. The messages are what sold me, actually. But look at the dies. Wah! So, snow galore and lots of options, even a background. I'm going to be using this more for sure. But I just thought, how about if I put snowflakes under glass, right? Like the snowflakes would work. So I cut them out of different glitter papers. These are from that Peaceful Garden glitter paper. And I also just cut some out of white. The message fit perfectly, be warm, be well. But I was ready to just put it across the front. I didn't need to. This one, the message fit perfect when I cut out the arms of the tiny, you can see, I cut out those little tiny images. Cool. All right. So Valentine Kisses is one that is like, I'm in love with it. It makes like a kissing booth. It has this little bear that you can put things in his arms. It actually has a slit. And you have things that you can put into his arms if you want to. Even better, look at these little birds. And there's even dies that cut the little birds out and little hearts. My favorite thing in this set is actually this banner. When you cut it, the little tiny hearts cut out. And I couldn't help myself look. Isn't it sweet? So I made a hutch. I had to put a cat on the shelf because I had to have a cat. This is just simple stamped. Here is where I put the heart inside of the frame. I used a marker to give my books a little more dimension. They were just, cut out in red, right? And I thought, there's no shading. They look flat. It needed shading. I colored the honey and I wrote the word honey on there. I was going to put that in his arms. And here I did another cutout with marker to try to give it a little more dimension. Here's some more books. See, I just put a lot of books on the shelf, and you know what? It looks pretty good. So less cutting doing this, less fussy than the one I showed you. But this wasn't. This is my cool banner that I fell in love with. And look, I cut it twice. I cut it in red, I cut it in pink, and then I put the little red hearts into the empty spaces because that was too cute. I made the little bear hold his little bear. OMG, fun. Now this one took some ink markers, and I thought about playing around with making an acetate stencil kind of thing so I could shade it with a blending brush. But overall, this one also has a really cute sign. It didn't give you anything that really fits on that sign perfectly, so I was like, that's weird. I mean, you could put your XOXO all the way across it, but the sign is too small for the messages. It's too big for some things, so I just did my own thing. I wrote home. Anyway, I love it. I put the little birds on here. Hello. It's gorgeous. This one is an old, here is again, I used it like a case. I cut the feet off. And then these little chocolates are an old Close to My Heart set. All of this. And so I was like, I love it. And now Stampin' Up started carrying vellum again, which everyone's very happy about. Oh, that's why I had my old my old scissors out. I have all of these. I kept them. I see them at Daisy Lane secondhand for a song all the time, and so now I own them all because I use them. I actually still use them all. But I really love. I used the vellum and I trimmed around it with those scissors, and then I kind of tried to fluff up the vellum around the edges so it would look like candies in those little, holders. I think this is so sweet, so sweet. And then because it just looked plain, I used a white marker, a white pen, gel pen around the edge, but oh my gosh, couldn't resist. I just wanted to show you, this is where I got the butterflies and the flora. This is the old Close to My Heart set. See, I still have some. I have some extras in there, but you can basically see it was a box of chocolates. You could make the chocolate. There's a lot of chocolate sets out there. You can look in your stash and see what you've got. So yeah, I have snowflakes and baking, and I used it as a hutch. I used it just as a box. I used it like a window. I used it like a shelf. Oh my gosh, I really think, as much as I love the chocolate, I love all of these, really. I think they turned out great, but I really kind of like this one under glass. And then just your basic hutch, right? And I'm gonna put some message with it. But I really love the cat. That's what sold me on the whole thing. I absolutely love it. The cat is so cute, you guys. Yeah, see, I think everybody's come out with a chocolate set, and I think you may have it in your stash. If you look, you have stamps in your stash that are small enough to go in these spaces. And if you wanted to use something longer, just snip those spaces out. This is what I did here. I wanted bigger candies in this spot. You can see that I did trim this hutch up in a few places. Like if you want a really big box, if you want a rectangle box, you trim out these. If you want more of a square, you can trim this one and your message is over here. Or you can, of course, flip it. If you want a long skinny message, you could just trim this bar out and put it right there, or just lay it across it on the top. Who's gonna know? And the same thing down here. you know, trim it out. Make it work for you. It's cool that there's all the different sizes because you really can go into your little stamps, your little 1-inch stamps or whatever, and you can find things that fit. And I have a few cut. I was thinking it would be really nice to have those colors in this color of hutch, right? I think the blue on it kind of does set it off. Wow. The blue, I think the blue colored hutch might have been a better option for that. I may do it instead of the brown because the brown is so boring. All right, well, I'm going to do it really quick now while I'm thinking about it. And yeah, I don't know where I put my scissors. Ah, there they are. Seriously, my whole table is covered. I think this might have been a better option. Oh yeah, look, see, the blue is really nice. I don't know about the brown at the top. I did cut a blue topper also. What do you think? Do I switch it? Do I just make another? Because I have enough stuff to make another. Oh, look at how great that looks with the brown in the background. Okay, yeah, that pops. I think it needs the blue all over. Okay, that is my day, and I will see you all on Wednesday. Which one's your favorite? Which one would you make if you were going to make one? I want to know. And I want to know if you're we're even remotely thinking about this, because I immediately saw it and fell in love. So, yay. All right. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody, and Happy New Year. Bye-bye.